Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create a tunic, medieval style, probably more aimed for lower class peasants, farmers, stuff like that. We're going to be using 100% linen on this tunic, and I'll show you the other supplies that you'll need. So the other things that we're going to need is some type of cutting device. You can use scissors or you can use a rotary cutter. I'm going to use a rotary cutter as I find it to be much easier to work with. Some pins, you don't have to depending on your skill of sewing. Obviously you're going to need some thread, you're going to need a sewing machine, or you can hand sew it depending on what you want to do. Something round for your neck hole, fabric dye depending on what color your fabric already is, and if you want your fabric to be a different color. And then also you're going to want a t-shirt that you can wear that is not too tight, not too loose, just a comfortable fit on you, because the linen is not as forgiving and stretchy. So for mine, I actually flip my shirts inside out because I like to see the stitch line while I'm working. You're obviously also going to need fabric. So the fabric that I'm going to use is 100% linen. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, for my fabric, went ahead and cut off a big old chunk here. Alright, so the measurements that I have for this, not counting these little ends here, these ends here, not counting these, just because it's not usable fabric, so I'm not going to count that. 53.5 inches for the width. The length, so 76 3/4 inches from there to there. I want to fold it in half. First, I'll fold that in half. Okay, so we've got the parts that are considered not usable, so the edges of the fabric from the bolt cut are on the top and the bottom. We got our fold right here, and then we're going to go ahead and fold that as well in half. Okay? Okay, so we've got a fold. Oh my goodness gracious. We have got a fold on the top and a fold on the side. And the opposite side of the fold on the side is all of the fabric that I consider to be unusable, if that helps you out at all. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my fabric down. What we're going to do... Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our t-shirt. We've got that fabric laid down like we just said. So we've got our creases, fold creases at the top here and along the side. Those are the only folds that we have. Since this fabric was kind of folded a little bit off from center, I do have an extra crease line and a little bit of bunched up fabric right here. But that's okay. This is a Renaissance shirt. They weren't perfect back then, so it's not going to be perfect now. So I want to put my neckline at the top here along the fold, and then I'm going to put the tummy line of my t-shirt's fold along the long fold here. And then just put the sleeve out naturally. Flatten it all down as best you can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our rotary cutter or your scissors, depending on what you have. Like I said, I'm going to use my rotary cutter. I've got my mat down on the bottom here, and you're going to want to cut the sides. Now I am going to leave some room on the side here. I'm going to leave about 1 inch extra on the sides here. So you can either measure 1 inch, or you can just put down your knuckle, put down your knuckle, and that should be close enough to an inch. Your knuckle is going to be a little bit more than that, depending on how long your fingers are. And then we're just going to make our cut. Bring that back down. Go to your fabric a little bit. My cutter is actually starting to dull. That's about the end of my mat there. Wow, yeah, my cutter is dulling. So I'm not quite cutting through all the way like I need to be. But I'm going to end up over here, approximately, let's see, just a little further. Okay. I'm going to end it approximately about a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch from the sleeve, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot along the side here that you're going to want the width of, or the, not width, but the hole, your arm's hole circumference. And I'm actually going to have to pull the fabric over since my cutting board doesn't cover all of that. Flatten this back out as best as I can. Try and make sure these stay lined up at the top here. That way we've got even sleeves. Okay, so I'm going to aim for right there. So from where you stop cutting, just push down. I'm going to just angle it towards that spot. Okay, so we got a little bit of fabric that didn't cut all the way there again. Okay, so we've got that sleeve freed up. I like the sleeve hole there. I really like this color of the cloth as well. It's pretty cool. So now after we've got cut out this area, we need to do the bottom still. So I'm just going to gently pull up, grab all these, just pull the fabric up. Up until we get to where we cut at. We're not going to have to go all the way over that way, so I can pull my mat back along the edge here. We've got this whole area covered. So then what we're going to do is, in order to fit into our shirt comfortably and be able to bend over and stuff like that, we kind of want to flare this out a little bit, because if we don't, it's going to be straight down and you're going to have to fit your shoulders into there as well. Personally, I think it's easier if we flare this out a little bit. It makes it easier to fit into. I've done a tunic before where I just went straight down, and I did pretty much the same thing with the side here. I could not fit into that tunic for the life of me. I just couldn't fit into it. So, going to, sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera here. So, going to put my rotary cutter back in the hole here, and I'm going to angle it out. And then from here, I want to angle it back in, but when we angle it back in, when we sew this together, this right here, it's going to form a little triangle on the side of your shirt. So if you want that to be really wide, obviously you're going to cut inward, angle inward more. If you want it to be really narrow, obviously you only want to take it in a little bit. I'm kind of medium. I don't want it too wide, I don't want it too narrow. So find my cut there.
This rotary cutter is not doing its job today. I need to get a new one already, and I just bought this. Okay, so probably going to angle it just like so. End it right there. I gave myself plenty of length here because I didn't know how much I would need. Obviously, if you make your tunic longer, if you want it to be longer, you would bring this down further and then angle out and then angle back in, depending on how long your tunic's going to be. But I wanted to make sure that my lines were going to be even here, so that's why I left plenty of room at the bottom. So from here, let's bring it down just a little bit more. And then we're going to cut straight across. Okay. Our little piece is cut right there. Clean up these cuts. Should be just about freed up here. Okay, I think that frees us up. So I'm going to take all that fabric, throw it over there, take my t-shirt off, don't need that anymore. Pull this back down, and then you can see what we've got here. If we were to fold this out, I'm not going to do it just because, well actually yeah, I will do it. Fold this out, you're going to end up having your tunic, the angle there, and if you fold it out again, which is what we need to do anyways, you end up having just a really long tunic with the fold at the top with the shoulders and the neck. So, next step is to make our neck hole. Now, I tried to use a glass bowl once, which worked great, just the size was off. Glass bowl obviously isn't going to get damaged, as plastic can. So what we want to do is we want to find our center point of our t-shirt. So we already had this really distinctive fold line going down the center here. So that's not my center. I've got a more faint one right here. That is my center. This fold line is accurate. That one, I believe, yes, that is our center point. I can measure it real quick just to double check. Yeah, that should be accurate. So what we're going to do is, whatever side you want the front of the tunic to be, you're going to have the majority of your circle on that side, because if you don't, the neck hole is going to, it's not going to look right. You want it to fold down over your chest more and be higher up on the back of your neck. So what I'm going to do is get this flattened down as much as I can here. Sorry that I keep moving this camera, I just want to get the best angles that I can. Now my Tupperware bowl has a little tiny dot on the center from the molding or whatever. So I'm going to line it up with that, the center point, and then I'm going to bring it down about, see, I can measure to give you guys exact. I'm going to bring it down an inch. So 1 inch, no, that's too much. That's just slightly too much. Let's say just slightly over half. Yeah, just slightly over half is what I'm going to do. So, praying to God that is accurate, we're going to go ahead and cut. Placing my rotary cutter down. Now, if you've got scissors, you would probably just outline this with something. And I'm gonna have to go back over this again because this rotary cutter is just seeming to be dull, unfortunately. But what I was saying is you could outline this and then cut it with the scissors, which actually might have been a better option for me had I known how dull these were. Okay, I'm going to take that away. And I'm just going to wing the rest of this. Okay, not bad. That right there. So we got our neck hole. And then me personally, I like to make a little slit down the front. It's pretty common with a lot of Renaissance clothes that you see. I'm just gonna make a cut down the front there. It's good enough for me. I'll tell you how long it is here. So that cut line is about 2 1/4 inches. Okay, awesome. So we got that part done. The next step is to fold this back together, and we're going to do our pinning, which is a pain in the butt. So fold that in. Fold our arms together. Now I will end up cutting this off, this little extra here, because that would look stupid for me on my outfit, I think. Especially with the red line going through it, the red stitch line going through it. So I'm going to cut that off myself. So, fold the arms together here. The bottom. Up. Just get yours lined back up the way it should be. Which you don't have to get too accurate on, because when we pin a few spots, it will help us to get this even out. So, just leaving it as is. So you can see it's not perfect right now. But we're going to go ahead and pin a couple spots that we know, guaranteed 100%, are not going to move. Those pin spots being your end of the t-shirt, your armpit points, and then also we have these distinctive angles here, so we can pin that angle and then pin the peak of the angle over here. We're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so we've got these points pinned. Now it'll be a little bit easier to fold this fabric in half, the way it should be. And if you see any spots that are a little bit off, go ahead and feel free to fix them. So like my arm, I feel like my arms on this side are slightly off. So I'm just going to recheck my pins here. And we can bring that one up a little bit more there. Check this armpit. This just might purely be the cut of the fabric, since that rotary wasn't one to cut through perfectly. But I do think that that does look better there. So the next step is to pin from our last pin. We don't want to sew this right here because that would sew that triangle shut. So you don't want to sew that. You're just wanting to sew from this pin, the tip of the triangle there, all the way along the sides up to here. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so close that up. So our fold probably is off a little bit, as you can see at the bottom here. Our t-shirt doesn't. I guess maybe it does. I don't know. Okay, so we've got it all pinned together. Next step is going to be to go to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew together the sides here. But okay, I've got my sewing machine, I've got my bobbin done up here. I've got my thread. Now if you were going to dye this, I don't know what would be the best method to either pick a thread that you are hoping for the fabric to come out as. Actually, that's not really important because what we're sewing, you won't even see that. It's going to be on the inside. But I'm going to stick with this. And then if I was going to dye this, I would probably want to make sure that this thread matched the color of what it was eventually going to be. So I'll maybe do a test dye. You could sew a little piece onto some scrap thread, dye it, and wash it, dry it, and then see if they still maintain pretty close colors to each other. If that's the case, then go ahead and use it that way, but make sure you do some testing to figure out what works, what is going to work best for you. So I'll put my bobbin in there, latch her on up, get my thread here, pull it down. We're gonna just thread in our machine here. Now I am far from being a good sewer. My wife is a million times better than me. Dang it, see, I've just lost my little needle thread in the job there. I think this has an, oh my god, I just went for it. I just went whoop, and it happened to hit it. Woohoo! Alright. So, pretty sure how we do this. You hold that tight-ish, drop it on down. When you see the snag, pull it out. I think we're supposed to have that down, maybe? No, okay, we didn't do it right. We did something wrong here. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, no, we did it right. Okay. So, if you don't know how to thread a needle or set up your sewing machine, etc., I would suggest going and looking at a separate tutorial for that. That's not what I'm trying to show you guys how to do. I'm just trying to show you guys how to get yourselves ready to rock. So I'm gonna cut those extra string right here. I got a trash can nearby. Give me a second, guys. Oh my God. Okay, so we should be ready to rock here. I'm gonna start sewing from, okay, that's not where I want to start. Got our neck hole up here. Put that right there. Here's our sleeve. I want to start from the sleeve. So, I'm gonna put that in there, slide it in. Drop down the presser foot, take out my first bobby pin. Now I need to grab my little holder for my bobby pin so I can keep them together. I'm hoping the lighting's not too horrible, guys. I'm hoping this little camera here catches the sewing action. So what we're going to start off doing is we're going to sew forward a little bit, and then we're going to back stitch all the way through, and then sew back through, continuing on. I'm just doing a normal straight stitch. I don't know what stitches would be the best, to tell you the truth. I don't know if zigzag would be better, etc. We're going with a straight stitch. So we're ready to rock. And let's see, 5/8 is about where. So we're going to sew forward a little bit. Start our back stitch. And continue on. Now each time I get to a needle, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take out every single little needle. This is my wife's sewing machine, and this thing is amazing. I had another junk one that I used before, long time ago, that I got her, and that thing was a piece of poo. It sucked so bad, oh my goodness, couldn't do anything on it. Like when you went to sew, there was no like your presser foot, you can slightly press down and it'll, like I'm on max speed right now. If I just slightly press down, it's going slow, and then you can go, make it go much faster. The other one I had two speeds, a high and a low, but neither one of those were low. So continuing on here. Next needle. Just continue down to the armpit, guys. Oh no! We fell there. Well, shoot. It's not good. Let's see if we can get a good suction back on there. Are we still recording? Please tell me we're still recording. Okay, we're still recording. Continuing on. That'll probably happen a few times. Now I'm getting to the armpit here. I'm going to do a back stitch on the armpit as well. Son of a gun. This is not working out so good. Okay, we're going to pause until we get this figured out. Okay, so hopefully this works. Not quite the same angle that we had before, but it's something. So we are currently at the armpit. What I was saying is we're gonna sew all the way to the corner of that armpit. Take out that pin there. And one more. Then we're gonna back stitch. And sew back forward. Okay, so I do that just because I want to strengthen my armpit a little bit. That way if I tug and pull or something like that, hopefully it doesn't rip it. So the needle is currently down. We're going to raise our presser foot because we need to rotate our fabric. So, rotating it. When we got it angled back, when we got it angled how we need it, slam that presser foot back down, and then continue sewing. And we're going to do the same thing for this side as well. No, whoops. Okay. And continue sewing down. So, got a back stitch on the top of the armpit and a little bit on the bottom of the armpit. We're going to do that on both sides. And I need to get my fabric pushed back over slightly. Taking out each needle along the way. Was already out of that one. But we are lined up still, so that's good. Needle out. Just gonna curve this just ever so slightly, slowly curve it along. Out. Keep moving here. Next needle out. Next needle out. If you didn't have a sewing machine, obviously you could hand sew this. That's just going to be a lot more work. But it would feel pretty cool to be able to do that. We're going to sew all the way through. Back stitch. Oh, we're getting caught a little bit here. Just raise my presser foot, slamming it back down. Back stitch. So all the way through it. We're going to pull our needle up, raise the presser foot, and with the little cutter there, cut her on off. So we've got one side complete. We need to go and do the other side now. Oh no. Card full, please tell me that that just happened. Okay guys, sorry about that. Basically all you missed right there is I finished down the bottom. What I did was I just slightly curved the edge here. And then when I got to our tip of the tip of our triangle for the side, I went ahead and sewed all the way through. And I back stitched, and I sewed all the way through again, lifted up, and now we're at where we're at now. So we've got one side completed. We just need to do the other side now. So, I'll rotate this around. And this time, I'm going to start from where we ended off. Pull that out. Slam the pressure foot down. Sew some lines there. Back stitch. Just back stitch all over the thread. More so than I do. So we're working our way up to the armpit at the moment.
now we'll do a back switch. There. Lift the arm again. Lift the arm again. Rotate our fabric. Press it down. Back stitch down a bit. This out some. This one down. Taking out each needle as we get to it. We'll snag it. And sewing back through to finish it off. Raise the needle up, lift the presser foot, which just came undone there. Fix that. Cut off our fabric there. And then we have got it pretty much complete. What I am going to do is I am going to sew a line, just do a stitch around the neck. I'm not going to fold it or anything. The only reason why I want to do that is because this fabric is going to keep pulling apart here. So I'm hoping that if I do that, it will at least prevent it from fraying beyond that point. I do need to fix my presser. Voila. Raise that back up. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to sew a simple line throughout the neck here. And I'm probably going to start on the back of the neck and then just work my way around. So this part can be a little bit tricky because the fabric is going to, because I'm not going to sew very far over. So the fabric is going to want to pull itself. Back stitching as we start out. I'm just going to try and keep the fabric just to the right of the presser foot as I work my way around, making sure that nothing is getting bunched up and caught. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can take your time on it as much as you want. My fabric and my thread match very, very closely to where they blend in a little bit better. If your fabric and your thread are very different colors that are going to stand out a lot more, then definitely take your time to make this look as good as you want it to look. Or you can just hand sew this entire portion here. That would be a safe bet. That way you can have complete control over it. And as I get to the neckline where we cut on the front, I'm just going to stop it, lift the presser foot, rotate it, drop it down, and continue. Now right here is going to be tricky because it's going to want to bunch up on me. So I just got to be really careful with my fabric. Try and flatten everything out. Okay, I think we are at the V, the end of the cut here. So I'm going to lift my presser foot, rotate this around. Now it's going to get much harder because now my fabric has much more potential to get in the way. One more or two. Lift the presser foot again. Okay, there we go. Very nice. I like that. I did a lot better job on that than I thought I would. I was wanting to do just a V, just a very angled V, but it curved, and the curve actually looks really good. Drop that presser foot back to actually raise it just a little. Okay, drop it back down, and then continue on how we were, keeping the fabric just to the edge of that presser foot as we continue around this. The other time I did this, I started and ended my stitch at that V there, and so I had to do my back stitches there, and it ended up looking really bad. I did not like it at all. It was just bunched up, but we don't have that issue this time because we are doing our back stitching and everything on the back of the neck. So now we've reached back around where we started. I'm going to back stitch. I back stitch a little bit more. And so all the way down and through. Raise that up. Got our fabric, and I have not tried this on at all yet, so you guys are going to see it for the very first time just as I will. So whether I'm disappointed or not, who knows. I will, however, before we try it on, oh goodness gracious, grab the cutting mat real quick, and all I'm going to do is take my sleeves and I'm going to cut off just that end portion there that I don't like. So just cut right along that. Now, if you wanted, you could back stitch through that again, which I will probably do. Yes, I am going to do. I will back stitch through the sleeve again, just to be safe. I don't think you guys need to see me anymore on this one for right now, so we're going to end this video. Back to you guys. Throw that down, and we're going to cut the next one. Okay, got that up on the table. Press down and push through that. Cutting up, up, all the way through. So, there's your little scrap pieces. Throw them off to the side, and then real quick, like, just gonna back stitch through there on these sleeves real fast. I don't need that up here anymore. Throw that down to the side. So, drop that down. Okay, we're just gonna sew forward, and then we're going to back stitch. And sew forward, and back stitch. And then sew forward. Just to be safe, just going over it a couple times. Raise the needle up, lift the presser foot, be done with that. So I just went forward, back, forward, back, forward. Probably a little excessive, probably didn't need to do it that much, but better to be safe than sorry. So same thing with the other side here. Go ahead. Let's see where my needle is. It is lined up fairly well.
Okay. So now we get to try it on. You guys are really low. Raise. Yep. Tighten this down. Okay. So, hopefully this looks good. I'm gonna grab out my belt here, wherever it's hidden. So I just feel like the belt helps throw the look together. Personally. Okay. Angle you up a little bit. And that's good right there. So. Oops. So we currently have it to where it's inside out, so we need to put it right side, obviously. This does look a little bit bigger than what I wanted it. That's okay. Let's see, where's the front? The front is the other side, so we're good there. No? It might be just right. Okay. Wow, yeah, nice. Put on my glasses so I can see. Sleeves are definitely longer than what I need them to be. I might cut the sleeves, I don't know. I might. Throw on the belt real quick. Because the belt does help bring the look together, in my opinion. Okay, here we go. Not bad, not bad. I can't see a whole lot, but yeah, looks good to me. We got our sides here. I got that V cut like I told you guys. The length it's okay. The sleeves, like I said, they are a bit long for my taste. The armpits do have a little bit extra baggage here, so I could have definitely adjusted that, but we are on the safe side, so we'll probably keep it how it is. Yeah, I like it. Okay guys, well this was the tutorial from start to finish on how to make a medieval tunic. I guess I can come in here real quick and show you guys the neckline, so you can see that. This side is narrower and this one is wider, so that's my only pet peeve there. On the back, I could have brought the bowl forward probably about another ½ inch like I was originally going to do, but not bad. So, like I said guys, thanks for watching. This is the tutorial on how to make a medieval style tunic. Probably more so for peasants and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time.